Good evening and welcome to FTB Sport on a rainy but happy Sunday evening. The day after the Lord Mayor's show, I think the expression is. This is FTB Sport, so absolutely like us, join us on Facebook, come and join the banter, share us, bring along mates, which is good. First of all, we have some great guests. We have Armoury in a pub in Brighton. He's on mute, but he's going to be live and with us. We have Foxy, Mr. Tony there, who's somewhere in the back room working. He might come in play, but we have absolutely got GunnerKing and Canner's going to come on to the and talk to us a little bit later. But first, if you're sitting comfortably, I want to read to you a little bit from this morning's newspapers, yeah, if that's okay. Firstly, bear with me. I want to read from the Graham Souness column this morning, and I will start. Denmark.
Who does Souness write for? Sorry, Ian. Who does Souness write for?
Sunday Times.
Ah, okay.
Sunday Times. Denmark, Italy, or Spain may look at England and fancy their chances against them in the Final Four. They maybe watched them last night and thought they could outpass them or take them on in a physical contest in Denmark's case. Yet I'm not so sure that playing against Gareth Southgate's pragmatic side would be a particularly pleasant experience. They do all the basics right, something that too many sides neglect these days. In the first half, they were still playing with a handbrake on, with two holding midfielders filling the spaces. But we have seen plenty of teams grind out and win major international tournaments before. So why can England not do so this week back at Wembley? That's Graham Souness. And lastly, and I felt this was really interesting, this is also from the Sunday Times. This is Rod Liddle. You know, he's a bit right wing from my view. He's a kind of thinking man's Jeremy Clarkson, but here you go. But actually, he's a Millwall fan as well. Let's not hold it against him. Really interesting. He said, but then this has not been a tournament about individual players. The most gilded, you know, the Ronaldos, the Mbappes of this world, have rather let us down. It's been a series of fascinating contests in which organisation and commitment have tended to trump individual flair. And his other comment is, this tournament may well become known as the final end of ticky-tacky football. Because this has proved hugely ineffective, it is no use having 85% of the possession if you do nothing with it. France and Portugal, both with wonderful, neat footballers, are out, while Spain almost came unstuck against Croatia. And Switzerland and Germany were fortunate to grab a draw against gallant Hungary. What we were reminded, had we ever forgotten, that there is another kind of football to be played. And this is, I think, the most powerful bit. And that it can be very successful, swift, direct, counter-attacking football, as epitomised by Switzerland against the French, Austria against Italy, Denmark against Russia, and so on. The best exponents so far have been the Czechs, especially when they brutally won over Scotland. I felt those two articles were really interesting, about organisation over flair, about swift attacks over ticky-tacky football. I thought they were kind of interesting. So, chaps, without any further ado, let's start with Armoury. So get ready to hit that mute button. What did you think of the game last night?
Very happy about the game. Just want to say I'm not getting any credit for being the ghostwriter for these two columns, but yeah, it was me. I do agree. I'm saying that because I totally agree with what they were saying there. I think football evolves, and this is what we're seeing now. When Tiki-Taka came in, everyone thought, my gosh, it's going to last forever. But obviously, sides learn to counter that. As for the game yesterday, totally agree with what Graham Souness said. We were in control, we were comfortable, we were pressing well, the guys are well drilled. I think the majority of the players play that system in their club sides, and it was just really refreshing to see an England side on point and in tune with what the manager obviously wants from them. So it was a great performance, and onwards and upwards. I'm almost lost my voice from talking about the England game and chatting with friends, and I'm in the pub today, you know, talking about it as well. But yeah, absolutely brilliant, and the morale all around the country right now is just top draw. So big up England, great performance, and I just think, yeah, no fear anymore. We've got the monkey off our back with Germany, so no fear. Let's go and get them.
Good stuff. Canners, go Canners. Tell us what you thought about last night.
I actually agree with quite a lot of what you're saying about you know, the tiki-taka football, you know, kind of going, and the whole thing about teams being that bit more pragmatic. Now, the one thing I will say is that I've noticed something. Now, we're playing with 2 defensive midfielders, right? The last time a team, I think, played with 2 defensive midfielders as in your midfield and won a tournament. I'm trying to think now, and I think it was Brazil '94 when they had Mara Silva and Dunga.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Right. And I think they've kind of like gone back to that when they've got, although they still had that Brazil team still had kind of a little bit of flair going forward, and we seem to have that as well in the sense that we've got Sancho, we've got Sterling. They had anyway. I'm not even going to name the names because obviously I'm going a bit old here. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, they had a bit of flair going forward. The standout player was Romario. We've got a standout forward. I hate saying it, Harry Kane, but but do you know what I mean? But Sterling is for me right now is absolutely smashing it. Sancho now has showed the people why there's so much hype for him, and the thing is that we don't look like we're in trouble. We don't really, and all this stuff going on before about play this player, play that player. Listen, Southgate learned a lot back in 2018, right? In that World Cup, he knows his squad, and the major thing what I find about these Euro champs, right? And I think what's going forward, the squad with the most harmony is going forward. You look at this England squad, the togetherness they have. Italy as well. You can see Italy, those guys love each other. They love playing for the coach. They love playing with each other. Look how they're playing. They're the most relaxed team. The French have gone like the Netherlands of the past. There's infighting, that team should actually be in a competition still on paper. But there's so much infighting. I don't know if you guys saw that there's something about Pogba and Pavard, whatever. So the thing is, there's so much infighting, and the team, Hungary shouldn't have done anything in this tournament, right? On paper, I don't know any of their players, but the trouble they gave all 3 of those teams that should have be in the semi-finals, right? Germany, France, and Portugal. It just shows that team was together. If a team's together, they're going far. Denmark together, they've come together because of Eriksen.
Yeah.
Look at Denmark now, and I just feel that this England team, they've learned from the past mistakes from especially from 2018. Southgate's do very well with ignoring all the media hype and just going with it. So I can't praise Southgate enough. Still think he won't do much as a club manager, but international football, he's learned and he's evolved, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what it said in the article. It's been a series of fascinating contests in which organisation and commitment of the Danes have tended to trump individual flair.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, all the teams that have come through. I mean, Spain, they as poor as they look, they've got no one going up front, but they looked like a together squad. And the same thing with, as I said, especially Italy. You can see the whole backroom staff of the Italian team, amazing. As soon as someone scores, everyone's jumping up, everyone's clapping when you can see it.
Adam's just said there, England could really write some history next week. I got emotional last night, and I hope that keeps happening. Well, I for one, maybe I'm the oldest guy on FTB Sport. I'm over 50, so I'm in my 6th decade, and I was a very little baby when England won the World Cup. I don't remember that. I've taken the best part of 6 decades, and I've never seen England make it beyond this stage. That's it. And maybe there's nobody on FTB Sport who can ever remember going beyond this stage. It is bizarre. So
I was old enough to see Italian 90. I remember that Italian 90. That hurt. That one did.
Yeah,
but that was my first memory of a major tournament.
But if you're being honest, you never thought that England would have beaten that West Germany team. But
no, I was
But-
7 years old. 7 years old, and then like from there, that really kind of onset a kind of ongoing and recurring pattern and theme throughout my sort of aging of international tournaments in England.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yes.
What did you think of the game last night, GunnerKing? Tell us your whole view.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think there was a lot of points that Souness touched on that I agree with. The first thing I want to do regarding Souness is, just point out how quickly he's changed his tune from when Scotland won the "We Didn't Lose to England" at an international tournament trophy. Or, how thick he was laying into England for how like poor we were in that one game. But look, what you've got to remember about tournaments is they start slowly. Portugal won the tournament last time.
3 draws.
They had 3 draws. Yeah, so they had a slower start. They didn't win their group. They got through their group by virtue of being a high placed runner up. So, if anything, I just thought it was a bit hasty from him. And I think, as the tournament has developed, Southgate has got players back to fitness, likes of Hendo and Maguire, which has been massive. And I think that's what he was resting them for. And I also think as well, what I would say is, whilst the hallmarks have been defensive organisation and shape, I don't think that gives the credit to England and Italy for the flair that they have brought to the tournament going forward as well. I mean, he said that, organisation came over flair. I would say no. What it's done is it's come in balance with flair. So it's not at a detriment going forward and attacking teams and being expansive of being rigid and difficult to break down, organised at the back. So I think that context wasn't quite right there for me. I think if you look at Italy in their group games, they scored far more goals. And I think only conceded 1 against Austria in the knockout games. They still only conceded 2 goals in the whole tournament, which, we haven't conceded any. And by the way, that is the first time ever in this tournament's history that a team has not conceded in their 5 opening games. So, I think I get why he would say that, it's come above flair. But both Italy, I mean, you only need look at Insigne's 2 goals. That was the hallmark of flair, and I think yesterday was our opportunity to show that going forward, once we have confidence, once we have a few of our players back and our heads, sort of a bit higher, I think, we took a lot of confidence from the Germany game, from not conceding in the group. I think that was really our chance to kind of show that, look, we can go forward as well. That Harry Kane can do it at this level in a tournament, that Luke Shaw is probably one of the best creative left backs in the world at the moment, as much as, I admire Tierney and Robertson as well. Obviously he's only done it this season, but obviously what he has done this season has been nothing short of phenomenal. And that continued in this game. Sterling proving a lot of doubters wrong. Rotating Grealish out. I think Grealish not starting in the first couple of games, everyone was on Southgate for it. Not a peep from anyone yesterday. And it's good to see that his choices were vindicated. The last thing I want to say about what Canna said about Southgate learning from previous tournaments. He learned from 96. He learned from the era that he played in when he took the penalty, when, the unfortunate miss happened. He learned what disappointment felt like. But if you look at that squad as well at the time, there was a lot of trying to fit round pegs in square holes just to get all of our best players on the pitch. And I think what he's showing is a maturity of having lived through that era where it was always, are we going to play Scholes? Are we going to play Lampard? Are we going to play Gerrard? If we play all 3 of them, who's going to play where? All this, that, and the other, So he's kind of watched that as well. So I think credit to him for what he's doing.
Cool, thank you. The bit I'd like to chip in on England, obviously I was thrilled with last night's performance, was that Hey, you know, in all my years in management, there's all sorts of leadership quotes you get bantered, but probably the best leadership quote I've ever heard is weirdly from Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson's famous leadership quote says, "Everybody's got a strategy until you get punched in the face." And the true test of a leader is coming back from that. Now, when I watch Man City and I see them go a goal up, and Pep is always going crazy on the touchlines to keep the tempo high. Now, what concerned me about England last night was when they scored, the tempo went through the floor. Pep would have been going mental on the touchline to keep that tempo up. Bear with me, because what happens if the opponents had scored? You know, it's like that that stick in the bike spokes. Can they then wind that tempo right back up if they've lost it in that period of time? What would have happened if that Muller strike had gone in? Could we have got their tempo back up to when we took the lead? That's the only question mark I have on it. The only bit that worried me was that drop of tempo, because we all know that once you've dropped it, if the opponent score, it's bloody hard to crank that back up. But, you know, in saying that, you know, in terms of bipartisan performance, the Sunday Times gave their 9 out of 10s to Sterling and Shaw, and I thought that was well deserved, with the likes of Harry, etc., and both Maguire and Kane getting 8s in behind that, and I thought that was fine. I thought they gave Rice an 8, which I thought was relatively generous, but why the hell not?
I honestly think they could give 8 and 9, 10 out of 10 to pretty much the whole team.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The one that also worries me is
Mount, the game passed Mount by, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah.
The player that worries me is Jordan Pickford, mainly because I saw him going, "Slow down, guys, slow down," or whatever from the back, and he so much of his game depends on that bit of confidence. He's almost like a child. If something goes wrong, he goes all wobbly, and that makes the back four change formation to cover him. He worries me. He worries me that when he gets agitated, the back four will change. They won't be then Stones won't be going for those interceptions, etc. He's the only player who really worries me. And occasionally Walker goes to sleep. And he's always done it. I
think that's the weakest part of our squad, to be honest, is the keeper. I think that really is the weak. I can't remember a tournament where we've gone in with 3, I would say, substandard goalkeepers. But hey.
It's kind of ironic that that's the concern, but we've had 5 clean sheets.
Yeah, but I think that a lot to do with that. I saw it in that game. That's a bit that worries me. A few comments. Just going to go through some comments, and then what we'll do, chaps, is unless Tony, are you free to talk? Can you tell us your thoughts on last night?
I mean, I could echo what all the guys are saying. I think a team as a whole, I think it was a great performance. What I wanted to look out for personally is we've beaten Germany 2-0. How do we respond to that? And do you know what? They responded perfectly, Mize. Yeah, it was after the first goal, it may slow down a little bit. But as soon as we come back out in the second half, with that second goal, it was all over.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you talk about the togetherness. And I'll tell you what's fantastic is every game we've had a different lineup, with different tactics, different lineup. But they all just want to play for him. You can see it, and I agree with what the guys are saying. Like, it's just magical. That's what it is.
Yeah, I agree. Coming on, a few comments there. Good old baby boy Adam there says, Jesus, the first tournament was 2002. Well, just,
wow.
Whatever. It takes all sorts of blend to make a family. Yeah, you ageist bastard. Big up everyone, says Anthony. What are we getting there? Hello, guys. OS here. Not sure if England have the style to control the midfield and control the game and keep the tempo like Pep does. Yeah, maybe that's not. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. But somehow they have to keep that going. If they're capable of doing it for 20, what they were good at was as good as City at was pressing the ball. City and Liverpool, I think. Sorry, chaps, are probably the exponents of that.
Can I just?
Yeah.
I want to, as much as I'm on the crest of that wave, okay, with everyone, right? However, what I want to say is that they've played the best team they've played is a declining Germany, right? And I'm just thinking, coming up against a tactically aware coach and team, like I know Spain haven't been great. either Spain or Italy, our midfield might get found out. That's my one worry. That's my, and then the back four are exposed. That's my one worry.
Should we be adding Henderson's experience for Phillips' drive, swapping the two out at the later stage of the tournament? I don't know.
Don't change it. I wouldn't change it.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. It's a tough one. But I mean, I going into Denmark, keep things as is. With those two, I guess you'd have to keep it for the final. But it'll be interesting to see how either Spain or Italy deal or try and counter the way our midfield is. It'll be very interesting. Very interesting.
Mike's made a point. He says 3 solid keepers. When Pickford has been called upon, he's kept the ball out there. And I'm not arguing he hasn't kept the ball out of the net, but what I'm talking about is supporting the defenders as a 2021 goalkeeper should do, moving the ball quickly out of his hands to get that momentum going, encouraging those defenders, communicating really well. He is a shot stopper. David De Gea is a shot stopper. So is Lloris, but I wouldn't have him at City. Anyway, sorry. Jem says 4-0 up and
must be Pickford.
Oxford looks like we're 4 down, and there are moments he should be catching the ball, not punching it away. Yeah,
I know which ones he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm with Jem on this one. He has to give more confidence to the defenders. He has to move the ball quickly, and he has to open his gob when he communicates, not when he's cacking his pants. So
that was highlighted.
I think he's had a good tournament.
So I think that was highlighted in the first half with Kyle Walker and Pickford. When they nearly went through in the first half. So yeah, that was kind of like there's that little bit in position there where Walker thought that Pickford was going to come for it, but Pickford stayed on his line. So there's always with Pickford, it's that air of I don't know what he's going to do next kind of thing.
Canners, keep talking. Tell us about Wednesday night, 8:00, Denmark. What's your thoughts?
Do you know what? I as the tournament's gone on, Denmark have been getting better and better, right? And you can't take these guys lightly. They're very methodical in the way they play. They're actually very skillful as well. So we've got to be careful. They do work hard. Their flair is backed up by their actual work ethic as well. I can't see them lose. I can't see us losing to Denmark, but I can see it going to extra time. But we still would come out on top. It's just going to be. It's going to be a semi. A lot of our players have not been there. A lot of their players haven't been there, so there's going to be a lot of nerves. So I think we'll get through, but it will be tight, very tight.
Don't do it to me.
Thank you. Good evening, Mohammed. How are you, sir?
Hello, Ian. How are you? Hi, everyone. Hello, Chris.
Thank you. Hello to Mohammed. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm familiar with some of the guys here. Ian, Chris, Omondi, and
Canners. I'm Canners.
hello. Carlos, how are you? Good, yeah?
I'm good. Yourself?
Mohammed, talk to us.
I'm good, yeah.
What were your thoughts about the game, strengths and weaknesses, and how do you view Wednesday night?
I believe they will win against Denmark. I have a quite good feeling, yeah? And the reason I'm saying is, I'm just, my daughter, oh my goodness.
Oh, I tell you what, in that case, let's flick back, chill out for a minute. We'll go back to GunnerKing.
Oh, sorry.
Pause for a moment. GunnerKing, go for us. Tell us about Wednesday night.
It's going to be tough. I think I'm going to say exactly what I said about the Ukraine game. Obviously, we blew Ukraine out of the park. I think the win against Germany, I didn't want us to go into the game against Ukraine with the mindset of the game's already won. I think that's what knocked France out, if I'm being honest. I think, the group of death, that's the reason why they're all dead, as far as this tournament's concerned. They've gone into games thinking they can beat people just by turning up. And I think that was a good thing to see against Ukraine yesterday. Like, we did turn up. And even during the difficult 20-30 minute spell from after we scored, where like you said, the tempo dropped slightly, we then showed character to take it up another notch going into the second half. So I think we need to carry that on as well, to be honest. I think Denmark, you know, Poulsen, Braithwaite and Mæhle look especially dangerous. They've got some dangerous players. They can play good football. So
Damsgaard's a real talent as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so I definitely think
I like the
we've
guy
just
on the
got
left. Is it Mæhle?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, but
Decent.
we've got to watch him. But I think it's a great opportunity to get in the final. And yeah, I think we should win it. We should win the game.
Marvelous. Right, Mohammed, I'm coming back to you. You're in the zone now.
Hello, hi, Ian. Do you know what? You know, I've been very critical of Southgate, yeah, and Omondi knows that, yeah. And I have to be honest, yeah. After the German game, yeah, I was very critical of Southgate for the last 3 years, and I have to say, for the last 2 weeks, I can see the team spirit is absolutely like, especially after the German game. I start thinking maybe this might be the generation that is going to deliver. Yeah, what I couldn't believe is that, you know, England had that generation of the Gerrards, the Scholes, John Terry, and I always had this belief that they will the ones to deliver. And now I'm thinking the likes of a team with Declan Rice, Phillips, yeah, they're not as talented as those generation that we had. But the team spirit, yesterday I was surprised, yeah. The chemistry in the team. There is no the ego. Do you know the French team? I looked at the French team, yeah. There was no chemistry, yeah. You can see they were basically individuals on the pitch, yeah. But the English team, when I look at them right now, they're not even conceding a goal. They played what? How many games now?
Five.
How many games?
Five.
They haven't conceded one goal. If someone said me to the beginning of the Euros, England won't concede a goal, yeah, I wouldn't believe. Yeah. And you know what? The other thing, Ian, was, yeah, I was also a bit critical of Pickford, the combination of Pickford, Stones, and Maguire. Yeah. You know, the international football, yeah, you have only 7 games. 7 games, yeah. If you are not spot on, if you're not focused, that's it. You're just going to go home. Yeah. And basically, you can't make any mistake. Yeah. And now,
chemistry.
You know what? But there is also another thing. Yeah. I feel like things are going in our way. Yeah. When you look how Muller's missing that chance. Yeah. You look at the teams, there's no injury at all. Yeah. The teams look fit. But also, I have to say, playing at home also is an advantage, yeah. If you look at most of the teams, they have to travel, they have to playing all those 3 games, group stage games, yeah, in front of Wembley, yeah, in front of the English fans. I think somehow it was an advantage for England, yeah. And the other thing also that I would say is also in our favor is when I saw the draw, I was like, my goodness, all we had, it was Germany and England. Yeah.
Open up.
Sorry, Germany, England, and Holland. Yeah. I wasn't convinced about Holland because when I look at the group, they okay, yes, they qualified. But when I look at the group with Austria, I wasn't convinced about the Dutch team. Yeah. And now I'm hearing people saying, oh, Germany is in decline. I wouldn't say that. Yeah.
They are.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah. I believe that was in a good German team.
Yeah. I think the German team is good, but I think the manager it's more the manager than the players that has them in their current state. I think Hansi is going to take some of those same players, bring in a few younger ones, and completely change.
Yeah, he's a better manager. I'm coming back to on Monday, so you can hit your unmute button, sir. Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, showtime. What do you think?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Just to back up what Trevor was saying about thing. When I look at the games, I think, well, what have Denmark got? All right, are they going to get in behind us? No. Are they going to play through us if we just sit there? Can they play through us? No. So how are they going to score? Maybe set pieces, but Harry Maguire's there. I think he's been immense, you know. So I'm not really worried about Denmark in that respect. Judging by the confidence now, I'm saying we're going to beat them. But one thing I would say is that, like Trev was saying, it's the elite teams. The two things I asked, can they play through us? Can they get behind us and all that kind of thing? Germany did. They had chances. So that just shows you. So, and this is a weaker Germany. I do agree with Trevor. They're on the decline slightly. They're not the Germany of old, but they had chances against us where you saw Harry Maguire sprinting back and Stones sprinting back because obviously they've been caught out in a way. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when we come up against Italy, can they play us through us? Yes. Can Spain play through us? Yes, they can. You know, so that's, as Trev was saying, different ball game altogether. That's why I'm not worried about Denmark, because those two factors, I don't think they can beat us like that. So how are teams going to, well, there's no formula to score against us at the moment, you know? And I'm really happy. Before, like Mohammed said, before the tournament, I thought to myself, well, the defence looks a bit weak. Harry Maguire's not there. Tyrone Mings, it's not going to work out. But as a unit, defence starts from the back, as we saw yesterday. Mason Mount was it against Germany or Mason Mount? I remember he came back into defence. He had two charged down the ball twice and worked hard. You know, so it starts from the front really. So I think no worries about Denmark. Let's go there, enjoy it, and I'm not even thinking about extra time. Let's give them some licks and go to the final with confidence. But as I repeat, two factors. When we look at every single game, we're all experienced now. We've seen every single team play. I'm not worried about Denmark. They're not going to beat us like that. Italy, can they get in behind us? Can they play through us? And the answer to both of that is yes. So we're against Germany, we had our hearts in our mouths, and I imagine that will happen again in the final. So let's talk about the final, because that's where we're going next.
Good. You know what? We're forgetting one person to thank.
Go on, Canis.
I'm just saying we're forgetting one person to thank in all of this. How we've got here. You know, the whole journey from just before 2018 and now. Sam Allardyce getting himself sacked.
That's true.
I saw a tweet earlier that was praising the investigative journalist that cracked that
story. All down to him.
The real England hero,
yeah, you're absolutely right. I've got a few comments here. Toby's writing, and he says Walker is the weakest link. Too many dodgy moments. And I'm a Man City fan, and yes, he does have a bit of a brace freeze and go dodgy. He needs a strong goalkeeper behind him, like he's got at City. He's a bit simple in the head, but he's a fantastic athlete. And if the goalkeeper shouts at him and gives him the right direction, he will respond. And that's all I'd say in his defence. You're right, Toby. I kind of agree. But that week,
Toby's a United fan, by the way. That's my mate. But I wouldn't say his bias is coming into this. I'm a City fan,
and he can make mistakes if he hasn't got a commanding goalkeeper behind him. But the guy, there's some of those runs that when he races past people, and also front and back, Walker is capable of winning the final for us, and also tracking back and saving us at a critical moment. I would say that. He's just got to have a goalkeeper who is more commanding behind him. A few more comments. Good old Adam, baby boy Morris there. We have spent so many previous tournaments worrying about the opponents. I think we are more than good enough now to just focus and have belief in our own ability in game. Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
100% facts.
Okay. Hey, Solo Errol says, Mohammed, welcome. Oh no, baby boy's back again. Southgate is probably the best tournament manager we've had in my lifetime. He deserves credit after a poor start to his managerial career. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I wouldn't say he had a poor start. He came in at a time when the team was transitioning.
Yeah,
that's what I'd say. I wouldn't say
Robin was good in my view. But he did say in my lifetime. So
yeah, I mean he's only 15, isn't he?
Guys, you've got to give credit to Steve Holland. Give credit to Steve Holland as well. I don't think it's just Southgate. Southgate's just a media guy with his sharp suits and image, he looks good, talks.
I think that's a bit cruel.
Cool, talks guy, looks like Gonzo, but I think Steve Holland is the brain behind it.
Yeah, but when Mohammed talks about chemistry, he is the chemistry master. He's the guy who gets them all together. He takes the pressure on his own shoulders. He behaves as a consummate professional. That's a good ingredient to keeping a team together. You know, clearly, if the French and the Portuguese had maybe stronger management like Southgate, they wouldn't have behaved like, you know, a dysfunctional bunch of schoolboys, in my humble opinion. Stu says Scotland had 3 chances. Adams, Dixon, O'Donnell. Wiener, Havertz and Muller. Chill your chat. Fair on you. We're coming. It's coming home. That's all I'll say. Stuart's coming home. Oh, he's back. Yeah, I just agree with him. I think they have a good left back.
Stuart, man, you must not have seen. I'm somewhat of a master of turning people's salty comments into memes.
He's not Scottish,
making them famous.
Go on.
You know, Tony. I hope you're getting that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm there.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think, is he the son of Graham Souness by any chance, do you reckon, yeah? Ali McCoy's illegitimate child.
I think so.
Adam loves our banter, but Adam Baby Boy Morris is back again. And James, it's coming home. P.S. Fuck the Scots. Oh, here we go. Guys.
That's harsh.
Let's look at parting thoughts. Parting thoughts. Back to Amondi in Brighton for parting thoughts.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful show. Nice to see Mohammed on. Like to see you again soon, Mohammed. Let's go. Yeah, let's keep it going, guys, because I'm so excited about the England team now. I think we're solid, and I'm going to big up Harry Maguire. You know me, Harry Maguire, without him, we won't be doing much. He's been a leader of men. Best player in Europe at centre-back at the moment, and probably one of the best centre-backs in the world, and I'm saying it with my chest, you know? Yeah. So, and there's been so many players that represented. I keep saying this, it's on terrestrial TV, there's millions and millions and millions watching, represent. These guys have got opportunity to stand up, represent, get their OBEs, MBEs, SIRs, all that kind of thing, because it's a great opportunity. Seize the day and take advantage of this great golden window we got here before we get into another lockdown.
That's it. Seize the day. Carpe diem. Carpe diem. Seize the day. Tony, Foxy, talk to us behind the black screen there. Last thoughts for Wednesday night, sir.
As wary as we are about Denmark, and they can be dangerous, I am confident in these boys. From what I've seen, we're going to be in front of 60,000 Wembley fans. And that, for me, is just going to be more than enough to get us through. I'm going 3-1, boys and girls. I'm going 3-1.
Oh, we're conceding a goal then?
We're
conceding a goal.
No, we're not conceding until the final.
We'll have a nervy moment, but do you know what? It's fine. We go through. And then a week Monday, we'll be talking about Gareth Southgate. It's all good.
I'm going to throw in some comments before I come back to the last trio of superstars. Gemma out there, I think Southgate sets us up differently for group stages. A bit more reserved. We were all frustrated by team selection and tactics, so I'm hoping knockouts will continue to play more attacking football. That's right. That's exactly what we read at the very, very beginning, which we've got to hit them lightning strikes. Ticky-tacky football is not enough. It will just about get us through the group stages, but no more. James is having a bit of a laugh with us. It's a coming home. Come on, Denmark, another Viking invasion. Just get on your bike. Get on your bike, Sonny Jim. Hey, you. Baby boys back. Fair play, guys. You kept me entertained for 45. Not bad for somewhere APs. Make sure you all subscribe.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no. Jem's great point. Yep. I think we're all agreed we've got to have some lightning strikes in there. And we just got to make sure that the defense don't get too rattled. Right, coming back to the big trio. Canners, take us away. Final thoughts.
Just keep doing what they're doing. Do you know what? I kind of somewhat disagree a little bit with us playing defensively in the and playing more attacking in the knockout stage. I don't think we've changed much in our approach. All it is that what's changed is that team have actually gelled. Players know what moves they're going to be making, etc., etc. So the players now are more in control of knowing what the next player is going to do. So I would say the team's gelling, keep doing what they're doing. Yeah, I'm just reading that comment.
Yeah, Gemma.
I saw Mondi reading it as well, man. I saw him. He was just like, I just saw the excuse me look on his face. Like,
yeah, my concern is we've got so many Tottenham and United players in there, and you know what they're like. They start panicking when it gets a little bit towards this stage of competition, isn't it? You know, so yeah, you know, I'm a little bit worried. So listen, now I think we've got this. My only point of kind of like concern is the final. Playing Spain or Italy. I'd rather play Spain, but I'm confident Wednesday shouldn't be a problem.
Cool. GunnerKing, Chris, go. Final comments, sir.
So I think what I want to touch on there's a guy who I think he nutshelled it beautifully that I follow very closely on TikTok, a guy called Tom Garrett, and he summed up. You know, there's a lot of us content creators on there that share our thoughts on selections and tactics, and after Germany he was just like, leave the man alone, leave Southgate alone. You know, everyone was saying Grealish are going for Sterling and this, that and the other. It's proven that his experience and his skill set, what he's bringing to the table, is adding value to the team. So I fully bought into that. You know, I didn't need him to say it to me, but yeah, it was just like there was a way in which he put it, which I thought was, you know, well thought out, to be honest. And I think as the tournament has progressed now, that's what you really saw. No one was. It wasn't quite the same clamour when he left Grealish out yesterday as it was before the Germany game. You know, because we are growing in that confidence, and what that 4-goal victory did was further kind of galvanize that kind of sentiment that we don't need to worry about the selections that Southgate is making, because they are much better thought out than we give this man credit for. So yeah, I mean, we just got to keep trusting what he's doing, and I think, you know, he'll pick the right team to play against Denmark. What's good is that he has rotated these players. You know, that Grealish is going to be fresh. You know, like Sancho is going to be fresh. He's only really featured. He hasn't featured heavily. You know, he's rested Saka in the last game. You know, because he looked a bit burnt out towards the second half against Germany. So these are all clever decisions. You know, and I think if you look at Italy and Spain, they've relied on the same players a bit more to get themselves through. And Spain have had to play twice in extra time, once in penalties. So
we do have.
They're not going to have the legs left. And
yeah, we've got a day less of prep as well over the other team.
Yeah, you know, I think overall that is, you know, still kind of works in our favour. I think that we have all of this on our side, and we've just got to go in there and believe we can do it. And I think we should play to our strengths as well. We showed yesterday. And again, I was speaking to another Chelsea fan who was saying, you know, would you be happy if England shithoused the tournament, so to say? We don't have to. We've got good attacking players, you know, and I like the fact that yesterday we showed that we are more than just a defensive and organised unit. You know, we can attack as well. We must have scored the most in the tournament and conceded the least, right?
I definitely scored the most.
No, we haven't scored the most. Spain have scored quite
Spain
a lot more.
yeah. Scored 10 and 2, didn't they?
Yeah, but some win extra times, that don't count.
So I got 5.
Can I just add? I think it's really impressive the way Ukraine set up yesterday, and we were able to break them down. That says a lot for me, you know.
Because in the first half, I was thinking they're getting everyone behind the ball, and I was thinking, this might be, if they score, this could go extra time. But the second goal was the killer. I think the second goal was absolutely, and the timing was the killer.
And to say that, just to add to that,
I desperately don't want them to lose tempo. That is my greatest fear. That if we score early, our tempo drops. We've got to be high tempo through the whole game, because shit can happen. We could lose a player central. They could score a goal. There's a lucky ricochet. We've got to have enough character to get ourselves out of the shit if shit happens. That only comes by keeping the tempo high.
And another thing, two things that I think will be effective for us. Harry Kane, stay up front. Stop coming deep to get the ball like he did yesterday. He finished the dinner and he spoon-fed. Anyone talk? You compared him to Romario, Trev, and I was shaking my head. No.
Time. No. Whoa. I'm not having that on my name.
Anything I'd say is when you watched Alan Shearer as a goal scorer and one of the greatest, he would always move it in from the right. When you watched Thierry Henry would not play down the centre all the time. He would move in from the flanks. He would go back and get the ball. There's only Gary Lineker I can think of and Romario who would actually hug the box.
Ian,
I'm going to leave Stu's comment up there because he said one sensible thing all evening, and that's hashtag 1966. So I'm going to leave that on there. And guys, before we finish, I'm going to give you one word. You've got to think of one word. Because we've lost Mohammed here, I was going to come to Mohammed for his final thoughts, but he's gone. You have one word to describe how you're feeling about Wednesday night. You have one word. I know it's going to be difficult for you, Mandy, but I'm going to start with you in Brighton. One word. You have one word.
Liquor. Drink up. It's going to be a celebration. That's my one. Celebration. That's it.
Celebration. I'm on his word is celebration. Tony, are you there?
Yeah, confident.
Canners.
Expectation.
GunnerKing.
Excited.
Say it with excitement.
Ian.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I'm going to leave Stu up there. Hashtag 1966. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Maybe we'll do a preview show before the game on Wednesday evening. It's about 5 or 6 o'clock or something. But otherwise, see ya. Bye. Have a nice time.
Coming home.
Everyone out there, like us, share us. FTB Sport. It's brotherhood. Bye.
Bye-bye.